Hi, this is Umesh from NERI NCERT Shillong. Today we are going to discuss about how to prepare lesson plan for teaching children with learning disabilities. Before starting my session, I would like to thank Yebito sir, Director SCERT Kohima, and Daniel Thong sir, Coordinator of the program, for having me in this webinar. Let me begin with the session. As a background idea about status of children with learning disabilities in Nagaland, I would prefer to share a chart which shows the sharing status of children with learning disabilities in the state of Nagaland. This is the finding from our study conducted during 2018 and 19 on 659 students from 9 districts of Nagaland. From this study, it reveals that around 4.5% of students are having problem in mathematical skills. 4.3% are facing problem in language skill. 3.5% are in writing skill. 2.5% are in reading, and 2% of them are in attention problem. Now, we'll back to the lesson plan. What is lesson plan? All you know that a lesson plan is the instructor's roadmap of what students need to learn and how it will be done effectively during the class time, right? So now we'll discuss on the components of the lesson plan. Somewhat these are same as regular lesson plan. So what are the steps or components of a lesson plan for teaching children with learning disability? They are preparation, introduction, objective, resources, presentation, practice, evaluation, and finally application. The difference of this lesson from the regular lesson plan is in its objective, in its presentation, and using the resources and the evaluation. These are the four major components where you can find a difference in this lesson plan. So let's discuss in detail about all the components of this lesson plan. First is preparation. In other words, we can call it as warm-up. In this component, we have to start with previously learned content, preferably applied concepts from the previous lessons. Next is introduction. We are going to prepare for an inclusive classroom. Therefore, we are not expecting homogeneity. Due to which, we should focus on common theme and related objectives. Now, a very important component of the lesson also will be new to you all is objective. In this lesson, instead of one objective, we are setting three objectives for three different levels. Level 1 for above average group, level 2 for average group, and level 3 below average group. This ability is on the basis of their performance, on the basis of their capability of learning, right? Students in level 1 are having higher capability of learning complex tasks compared to average and below average. Therefore, we need to formulate an objective which is little higher order in terms of complexity of the task compared to average and below average. In the same manner, we have to formulate objective for level 2 in a higher level as compared to level 3. To make it more clear to you, let us discuss with an example. Say CBC, consonant, vowel, consonant words. We'll take it as a topic of the lesson by considering the ability or capability of the learner. Level 1 students, we may set like students will recognize and read CBC words. And for level 2 also, maybe same like students will recognize and read CBC words. But how we can make a difference? We may increase the number of words to be introduced in level 1 and level 2. We may increase the number of words to be introduced, say 7 for level 1 and 5 for level 2 and 3 for level 3. Otherwise, for level 3, we may set students with recognize and identify CBC words. Here, instead of reading, it is aiming to identify because identification is easier than reading, right? So now, next component is resources. Selection of resource is important because it needs to consider the set objective, learner's preference, and learner's learning style. One more important concern which is not mentioned in the lesson is teacher's learning style. Considering teacher's learning style is very important because the implementation of the lesson is also depend on the learning style of teacher. For example, student is preferred learning through kinesthetic and teacher's learning style is visual. Then the chance of conflicting between these two are high. If so, learning speed of the learner may affect. Therefore, after knowing the learning style of teacher and learner, planning systematically and deliberation is possible. Already you know the types and kinds of learning materials. Here I have mentioned only few, but these are not all. Many others are there. Here semantic organizer, graphic organizer, bingo board, bingo token may be new to you, but many other things are there. We need to explore more. Okay. Now the important component of the lesson plan comes. That is presentation. In this component, we need to plot clearly about the form of instruction, strategies and techniques, teachers and students activity. Firstly, we'll discuss about the form of instruction or application.